The path to success is all mental. Real champions win the match before they even walk out on the mat. I'm Marcus Whitney, and this is Create and Orchestrate. I'm in the process right now of working with some folks. You know, I love to work with people, and we're creating something new, and we are going to launch it out into the market. I am really, really excited about it, and we are in a very uncomfortable window right now because there is some internal pressure to get this thing out there and get it launched. And there is that old adage that usually gets associated with Steve Jobs that says, if you've launched something and you're not embarrassed by it, then you waited too long. There's always some truth to that. But there is also such a thing as launching something too early, prematurely. I've been watching our team kind of work through the process of being collectively patient as we get to this point where we're really launch ready. And I've been thinking about what is driving that uncomfortableness, right? What's driving us to really want to get out there before we're really ready? The only thing I can really come up with is we're more excited about starting than we are about being effective. Let me tie this to something different. I've been talking recently about martial arts, and it's like anything else. You dedicate enough time to something and you start seeing a lot of parallels between that thing that you're dedicating your time to and other things in life. And so one of the things that our teacher says over and over again is he talks about the distance between you and the person and your stance. And whenever he teaches us something new, especially if it looks cool, we all want to jump right into doing that next move. Oh man, that punch looked awesome. I want to just jump in and doing it, right? But inevitably there'll be two things where we're not right on. As a result, we don't do the move correctly. We might hurt the person we're working with, or we might hurt ourselves. The first one is the distance between us and that person. That's really important because, if I'm 2 feet away from you and, my arms are not quite 2 feet long, then I'm gonna have a problem hitting you without moving in your direction. Or if my arms are 3 feet long, then I'm gonna swing right past you and I'm gonna miss you. So we have to know the distance between ourselves and the target. And a lot of that is about knowing ourselves, right? Because the distance for me is not the same as the distance for you. I've got my own kind of length and reach and energy. There's this knowledge of self I have to have about my distance versus anyone else's distance. The second thing is stance. Stance is about your balance. Are you balanced? So when this person pushes back on you, which they inevitably will do, nobody just lets you do anything to them. They're not just sitting there like a mannequin while you're just punching and chopping and kicking them, right? So when you go to do this move, are you on balance or are you off balance? If you're off balance, they can easily push you out of what you're trying to do. Stance is really, really important, but stance sucks. No one ever wants to take the time to get into the right stance, right? They just want to do the move. I think that's the same thing in business. People don't want to think about the bad scenarios that are going to come up with the customer and how they're going to address those. They just want to go right into dealing with the customer. And then when the bad scenarios come, they're on their heels, they start to show emotion. Really, it's all because you're not prepared, right? It's really because you didn't have the right stance. You weren't balanced, right? And you weren't ready for the inevitable, which was the customer being dissatisfied about something that you did. Okay. Another thing is the distance, right? How on the mark are you with what you are offering? If I swing and I'm like a foot away from you, my distance wasn't right. I didn't hit the mark with what I was trying to do. It's the same thing in business. A lot of times we get really, really excited about wanting to get something out there, and our distance isn't right. It's actually not going to hit the market where the market needs to be hit. This is why we have to take the time to prepare. This is why we have to take the time to practice. And this is why if we want to be great at anything or we want to be champions, there is a window of patience that we have to be willing to endure. We have to hold back the desire to just get out there, because the reality is we're not ready to be out there yet, right? We have to keep training, we have to keep preparing, we have to keep visualizing what's going to happen when we actually get out into the market and we're engaging with competitors and our customers and investors and all these different folks. Have you thought through what's going to happen in each one of those scenarios? And if you've thought through it, have you also designed how you're going to deal with it? Once you do all of those things, you've already won the match. Like, you've already figured out all the different scenarios. You're walking into the launch of this business already a master. But you can only do that if you've been patient and you've been dedicated and committed to the work to get your distance and your stance right before you actually stepped out on the mat. Most of us who are creative are impatient. We want to see our visions become real, but we don't give our vision the credit that is due to it. If you have a big vision, it probably takes a lot of work to prepare for it. It's easy for us to watch, championship athletes and be like, man, they spend so much time in the gym or so much time in the studio or so much time on the, in the dance studio, preparing and practicing. We know how much they sacrifice to be great, but then we don't want to sacrifice the same thing to be great in business. It's crazy. You have to prepare, because once you get out there, that's it. That first impression that you make, that's the last time you get to make that first impression. Take that anxiousness, take that ambition, and channel it into preparation. And get your distance and your stance correct. And you'll already win the match before you even get out on the mat.